الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. To go over the exam first, inshallah. The first question on page 20, Imam Ghazali mentions three types of people briefly. Oh, yeah, their exams are right here. They're right in the front.
Did you say page?
No, the first question on the exam. Oh yeah, I'm going over the exam. The first question, okay. Imam Ghazali talks about three types of people on page 20. And these three types of people are in regards to how and what reason they seek knowledge for. So the first one is who? Who do you have, Saeed, for the first one?
One who seeks knowledge to get closer to Allah.
Yeah, that's the first one. The one who seeks knowledge, his sole reason for seeking knowledge is to get closer to Allah through this knowledge. Last night we went over the story of Jurayj, right? And we learned in that story how knowledge was detrimental to him. It was through lack of knowledge that he fell into the trap he fell into. Another saying that some of the ulama say is, if a person could be a great worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and shaitan could ask him such a question, where if he didn't study aqeedah and learn what we learned about the capabilities of Allah, he would say something which is wrong, which would take him out of the fold of Islam. So the first one is one who learns knowledge. Why? To protect his deen. Okay? The second person was?
One who seeks the knowledge to get the honor in this world, but he knows his intention is wrong.
Yeah. Basically the second person is someone who's sick, has a disease, and he knows he has the disease. He's aware of it. He knows that I should be seeking this knowledge for Allah, but my niyyah is wrong. And he wants to fix that. Okay? This guy's better off than the third. And the third one?
Who seeks the knowledge for this world, but he also believes that he has a high rank.
Yeah, he's doing it for this world, but he has no concept that he's wrong. This guy is in bad shape. Because he how can he ever do tawbah when he doesn't even realize he's doing wrong? Okay, this next question. On page 30, the section on etiquette of wudu. Imam Ghazali mentions many supplications to be made during wudu. So my question to everyone is, what do we obtain by connecting our wudu with these supplications? Martha, what did you write?
We gain the blessings of remembering Allah. We remind ourselves of the blessings that Allah has granted us with each body part that we are washing. And we are reminded to use those parts for the purpose that Allah intended.
This is exactly what we discussed in class. Remember when you wash the mouth, what was the dua? Oh Allah, allow me to do your dhikr, to read the Quran, all these things. You have to remember that what the answer I was looking for was that the wudu doesn't become just a ritual anymore. There's a ruh behind, there's a soul behind the wudu. You actually feel that this is connecting you with Allah. So that's the point. And also exactly what she said, that by reading these du'as, you realize what I should be using these parts for. Okay? Yeah? Jamal?
Yeah, I mean, that's the key. What you using that part, what you should be using that part.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I got it when you say that.
You get what I'm saying? Because the question is, should we make these du'as while we do wudu? And we discussed this in detail. So people wrote different things. Anyone get it wrong? Completely wrong? No? You get it wrong? What'd you write? Because the book says so. It was really hard to get wrong, and unless I could tell you really didn't care, I didn't mark it wrong.
But if someone says, read the Ghazali books.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you write?
I said we are following the ulama and doing as they
That's just like whatever. Okay. But by the way, he did very good the rest of his exams, alhamdulillah. If one is by himself, this is easy one. If one is by himself, he's all alone, and he's still succumbing to shaitan's whispers and disobeying Allah. No one's around, but he's still disobeying Allah. What does Imam Ghazali recommend this person to do?
Sleep.
To go to sleep. Because sleep is better than disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sleep is better than disobeying Allah. Number 4, what is the objective of this book? Okay, the main objective was, I found it best in Saeed's answer. Like, me and my wife were like, we should post this on the website. This is beautiful. Can you read your answer, Brother Saeed? I don't mean to throw dirt in your face.
Oh, he asked you.
You read your answer.
Yeah, you read your answer.
Read it loud so they could hear. He hit the nail on the head.
And be from one of those.
That was one of the key points. 1 second. It lays out the practical ways. Imam Ghazali actually tells us what to do. A lot of books tell you be a better Muslim. But he tells you what to do. Keep going. Is there...
And be from one of those who are successful on the day of judgment, with blessing of Allah, and save themselves from the great punishment of Allah.
So that's the point. The practical way of getting it. Martha's was a little longer, but very good. Alhamdulillah. Very good. So I don't think people got this wrong. And no one got this wrong, right? Okay. Number 5. Okay. Why is time management so important in light of this book? The main thing is that time is our capital. Time is all we have to get to our final objective. And every time time is slipping away, you're losing your capital. You're losing your capital as the time goes, So Imam Ghazali reminds you that you only have a little bit of time to gain Jannah. You have to use that time. Inshallah. Yeah. No, 66. 66. Okay, so Imam Ghazali now, for those just starting this book, Imam Ghazali is telling us at this point, right at where we're starting, when we go to sleep, right? When we go to sleep, how we should be going to sleep. And then he's going to discuss how to start the next day. Okay? So let's start from ثُمَّ اقْرَأْ آيَةُ الْكُرْسِي inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم اقرأ آية الكرسي وآمن الرسول إلى آخر السورة والإخلاص والمعوذتين وسورة تبارك كالملك وليأخذك النوم وأنت على ذكر الله تعالى وعلى الطهارة فمن فعل ذلك عرج بروحه إلى العرش وكتب مصليا حتى يستيقظ.
Yes, so he says now, as you lay down to go to sleep, read Ayatul Kursi and Aman al-Rasul. This is the last 2 ayahs of Surah Baqarah. Okay? Wal Ikhlas wal Mu'awwidhatayn. Read Ikhlas and read the 2 Quls. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. This is very important. Also to protect ourselves from jinnat and things like this. It has a strong protection in protecting us. It's very serious. It's very serious. So these things, these Quls protect you. Protect you. You have to use these. And then he says, and Surah Mulk, Tabarakalladhi biyadihi al-mulk. He says, let sleep overcome you while you are in remembrance of Allah. So now as you lay down to go to sleep, you should be doing dhikr as you fall asleep. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah. Let sleep come while you're doing dhikr. While you're doing dhikr. And you should have wudu. Have wudu. I know it's hard. Sometimes you lay down and you're in the bed and you're like, man, I don't have wudu. I know I should do it. This is where you overpower that nafs.
What if you lay down and soon you get in the bed and then you...
Okay, that's different, brother.
If you go to bed, would you have a wudu before you go to bed?
Yeah, that's the point.
Wait.
Yeah, that's fine. But going to sleep with wudu is what we should... Falling asleep with wudu. And then, for your spirit... For the spirit of the one who does this will ascend to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be recorded as being in prayer until he wakes up. So that whole time you're sleeping, you're getting the reward, the ajr of doing dhikr that whole time you were sleeping. And then, ثُمَّ ثم استيقظت
ثم
فإذا I'm sorry.
فإذا استيقظت فارجع إلى ما قد عرفته أولا وداوم على هذا الترتيب بقية عمرك فإن شق عليك المداومة فاصبر صبر المريض على مرارة الدواء انتظارا للشفاء وتفكر في قصر عمرك وإن عشت 100 سنة فذلك بالإضافة إلى مقامك في الدار الآخرة وهي أبد الآباد قليل.
Okay, this is important now. This is where Imam Ghazali gives us the practical way of doing what he said. He says, when you wake up now in the morning, return to the routine of the morning I described first. So everything he told us to do before, time for Quran, dhikr, all of these things. And then he says, do this for the rest of your life. But now he says, if keeping to this routine becomes difficult for you, it's hard, what do? He says, be patient, have sabr. But he tells you how. Look, as a sick person is patient with the bitterness of medicine, waiting for the return of health. So the same way a sick person will take that bitter medicine because he knows he's going to get better, the same way you got to stick to this routine of Quran, dua, dhikr in the morning, all of these things, because it's bettering you. And then he says, even if you were to, now this is the key, reflect upon the shortness of life. Look, this is the key. He says, if you look at the whole life as 80 years, 70 years, your nafs becomes overwhelmed and feels like, I can't do this. So you have to remind yourself about the shortness of life. Reminding yourself about the shortness of life makes it easy for you to do these a'mal. Because now you realize that it could be tomorrow, it could be next week. Even if you were to live 100 years in comparison to your stay in the hereafter, which is everlasting eternity, this 100 years is a very, very short time. But who gets 100 years? And not only that, how much more time do you have left of your own time? 30 years are done. Okay, 40, 50. What do you have left? You only have a little bit left. That's if you get what you think you're getting. You might not get that. So he's saying, remember how short life is. That will make it easy for you to do this routine. Next paragraph.
Can I ask a question before you move?
Yes.
Can you define difficulty?
Yes. I actually had, okay. There's 3 types of patience, okay? There's patience on calamities. Someone passes away, you should have patience. 3 types of patience, okay? 3 types of patience. There are 3 types of patience. Write it down. There's 3 types of patience. This is important. Patience on a calamity, number 1. Patience on a musibah, that's what it's called in Arabic. Patience on a calamity. That's someone passes away or something. Number 2, patience from doing a sin. Sabr anil ma'siyah. Patience from doing a sin, meaning at that moment you want to look, but you have to have patience at that moment. That's what you need right there, patience. Just hold on and you'll be okay. The third, patience from sinning. The patience from committing something forbidden. The other one is patience on ita'ah, on obedience. Sabr ala al-ita'ah. Sabr, patience on obeying Allah. Tahajjud, it's hard. But you have to have patience. You have to push yourself to pray longer. These things, to stick to your routine. It takes patience. So these are 3 types of patience. So to answer your question, sister, the difficulty means that I gave everyone the paper to make a schedule, right? Now you may notice it's hard to do that. Some days after Fajr, you're just sleepy. You just go back to sleep. And you don't do none of your dhikr, your Quran, or nothing. That's what he's saying, it's hard. But how do you make it easy? Imam Ghazali said, remember how short life is. That will push you like, wait, what am I doing? I only got 20 years left. 20 years of able-bodied. Like, after that 20 years, I'm going to be weak. So he's saying, remember on shortness of life, that will make it easy. The hardship is referring to the hardship of doing these actions. So let's continue. This is وَتَأَمَّلْ
وتأمل أنك كيف تتحمل المشقة والذل في طلب الدنيا شهرا أو سنة رجاء أن تستريح بها 20 سنة مثلا فكيف لا تتحمل ذلك أياما قلائل رجاء الاستراحة أبد الآباد.
Okay, listen to this. Contemplate. How is it that you bear hardship and humility in your pursuit for this world? How hard you work for your world. You put yourself down in front of your boss, everything. In this world for a year, a month, in order to gain rest and relaxation for 20 years of retirement. We did this last time, but it's good to remind. You work for so long just to get retirement at the age of 50. You work so hard, so hard, so hard. Why? I'll retire at the age of 55. If you even get Social Security, you're probably not getting that anymore. And then why? Just so you can get 20 years of relaxation. He says, then how is it that you cannot bear for a few short days this routine of worship to attain rest and relaxation for eternity? Look at the trade. In this dunya, you work so hard for 30 years, 40 years, to relax for 20 years, but you can't work for this dunya to relax forever in paradise. Next. ولا تطول
أملك فيثقل عليك عملك وقدر قرب الموت وقل في نفسك إني أتحمل المشقة اليوم فلعلي أموت الليلة واصبر الليل فلعلي أموت غدا فإن الموت لا يهجم في وقت مخصوص وسن مخصوص وحال مخصوص ولا بد من هجومه فالاستعداد له أولى من الاستعداد للدنيا وأنت تعلم أنك لا تبقى فيها إلا مدة يسيرة ولعله لم يبقى من أجلك إلا نفس أو ساعة أو يوم واحد فقدر هذا في قلبك كل يوم.
Okay, stop there inshallah. Okay, listen to this. Here's the key. Here's the medicine. Do not lengthen your hopes. When you have long hopes that I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, long hopes, this will make it hard for you to keep up with the deeds of your akhirah. Because now you have long hope in your dunya. You're not looking at the shortness of life. You're looking at how much more I got to accomplish. I want to become this, I want to become that, I want to become this. Akhirah is far away. No, he's saying your hopes, limit those. Limit those. Who knows, we work hard, but you limit your hopes. Do not lengthen your hopes so that your work and deeds become burdensome to you. Anticipate the closeness of death. How close is death? And say to yourself, I will bear difficulty today, for perhaps I die tomorrow. For perhaps I die tonight. And I will be patient tonight, I might die tomorrow. For death doesn't come at a particular time. It doesn't come at one set time, or a particular age, or in a particular station. Though its assault is inevitable. It's coming for sure. You know it's coming. But you keep ignoring it just because you don't know when it's coming. That's what he's saying. He's saying get ready for it because you know it's coming. Who in this dunya denies it? This is one thing every person has to admit. Are you going to die? Yes, we're going to die. So think of it as close so that you can keep up with your routine. Next thing. Let me continue. Therefore, preparation for it is superior to preparation for this worldly life. Because it's coming for sure. Since you know that you will not stay in it for more than a short period of time. Perhaps all you have left of your life is one breath, 1 hour, 1 day. So consider this in your heart each day. That's the medicine. There it is. Everyone asks, how can I become better? That's the medicine right there. It's a doctor prescribing you. This is the medicine. Consider this in your heart each day. Man, I might die today. Really, I might really die today. Tomorrow, the day after. This will keep you going. This will keep you going. And what next?
وكلف نفسك الصبر على طاعة الله تعالى يوما فيوما فإنك لو قدرت البقاء 50 سنة وألزمتها الصبر على طاعة الله تعالى نفرت واستعصبت عليك.
Yes, let me explain that. He says, he's explaining psychology of man. He says, and make yourself be patient with the obedience of Allah Most High, a day at a time. There's the key. Don't look at the year. Don't look at 50 years. 1 day at a time. I'm going to pray my Maghrib and Isha in Jamaat today. I'm going to pray my Isha in Jamaat today. Don't think about the whole year. But today, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. 1 day at a time. Why? For if you estimate that you may remain alive for 50 years, and that yourself will have to preserve in the obedience of Allah, that man, 50 more years, I'm going to have to keep this up. To Hajj it 50 more years. What happens? It will try to run away and make things difficult. Your nafs will say, man, no, we can't do this. We can't do it. He's explaining your psychology. Look, he says, take it 1 day at a time. Tomorrow, today, I'm going to do what I have to do for Allah. Because if you think about 50 years, your nafs says, man, I can't do this. Crazy? I can't have 50 more years of this? You don't even know if you're getting 50. First thing he said. But if you think of 50, now it becomes too hard on you. This is what shaitan does. Makes you have long hopes. He said, no, just 1 day at a time. This will make it easy. Because now you're thinking, I only have to do sabr for 1 more day. I only have to do sabr for 1 more day. I only have to do sabr for 1 more day. I only have to do sabr for 1 more day. Like this, 50 years pass away. Your whole life was sabr. You get it? It's amazing. Keep going, inshallah.
For those who read in Arabic, استصعبت, there is a sukun type of sound. There is no fatha. There is a sukun type of sound.
Yes, exactly.
فإن فعلت ذلك فرحت عند الموت فرحا لا آخر له وإن سوفت وتساهلت جاءك الموت في وقت لا تحتسبه وتحسرت تحسرا لا آخر له.
Okay, stop there really quick. He says, if you do as advised above, if you do this, you know you're sick, you take the medicine. If you do this, you will have bliss at the time of death. You'll be happy. I did what I had to do. Alhamdulillah. You'll have bliss at the time of death. An endless bliss. But if you procrastinate, I'll do it next month. You keep putting it off. Next month. Okay, when I become 19 or 20, I'll become a better Muslim. 25, 30. You keep putting it off. And take it easy. What's going to happen? Death will come to you at a time you do not even expect it. And you will be grieved with grief, which knows no end. Because you wasted your opportunity in life. It's gone now. You wasted it. وعند الصباح
وعند الصباح يحمد القوم السرى وعند الموت يأتيك الخبر اليقين ولتعلمن نبأه بعد حين.
He says, when morning comes, the travelers praise night travel. Night travel is hard. But when morning comes, you're happy you traveled all night. You're happy because of the destination you got to. But it was hard. You're sleepy. You're pushing. Let's go further. Let's go further. And at death, the convincing truth will come to you. And the ayah of the Quran, and you shall certainly know the truth of it after a short while. وإذ قد
أرشدناك إلى ترتيب الأوراد فلنذكر كيفية الصلاة والصيام وآدابهما وآداب الإمامة والقدوة والجمعة.
So he says, having guided you in how to organize your regular duties of worship. Up till now, if you didn't get your schedule straight, he said, I already taught you. I told you what to do for your schedule, for your time. He says, now I'm going to go. We are now going to mention the method of prayer, the method of fasting, the etiquettes of each, and the etiquette of leading the prayer, of following in prayer, and Jummah prayer. Next category, Adabu Salah.
آداب الصلاة.
Listen closely.
فإذا فرغت
One second. Everyone wants khushu, concentration in salah. Everyone wants it. He's telling us now. Okay? He's telling us how to get khushu in the prayer. Pay attention very closely.
فإذا فرغت من طهارة الحدث وطهارة الخبث في البدن والثياب والمكان ومن ستر العورة من السرة إلى الركبة فاستقبل القبلة قائما مراوحا بين قدميك بحيث لا تضمهما واستوي قائما واقرأ قل أعوذ برب الناس تحصنا من الشيطان الرجيم واحضر قلبك وفرغه من الوساوس وانظر بين يدي من تقوم ومن تناجي واستحي أن تناجي مولاك بقلب غافل وصدر مشحون بوساوس الدنيا وخبائث الشهوات.
Okay, look at this. He says, okay, when you finish purifying yourself, wudu, whatever, and purifying your body, clothes, and surroundings of all impurities, and you have covered your nakedness, you're covered from at least your navel to your knees, face the Qibla, face towards the Qibla, standing with your feet apart, not touching together. So he's saying don't put your feet together like this. They should be apart. Stand up straight. Recite Surah An-Nas. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. You didn't start the prayer yet. Recite Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Before you even start. Why? Seeking protection from shaitan, the accursed. Because shaitan is about to attack as soon as you start your prayer. Make your heart present. Bring your heart to what you're doing. I'm about to pray. And empty yourself of other thoughts. You didn't even start yet. You didn't even start yet. Normally we just come in. He says, no, stand there. Think about what you're about to do. Clear your thoughts. Consider before whom you are standing. Think for a second who I'm standing in front of. This is how you make your prayer a real prayer. People work their whole lives for this. This is the key to do it. Consider before whom you're standing. Think about it. And upon whom you're calling. Who am I calling right now? And you should be ashamed to enter into intimate discourse with your master with a heart that is heedless and a chest or breast full of thoughts of this world and the droves of lowly desire. He said, you should feel ashamed right now. That how am I going to talk to Allah with all this garbage that's in my chest right now? I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. And Allah knows. Make yourself feel ashamed to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make yourself feel like a true slave in front of Allah. Totally ashamed. That what am I thinking about? Next one.
واعلم أنه عز وجل مطلع على سريرتك وناظر إلى قلبك وإنما يتقبل الله صلاتك بقدر خشوعك وتواضعك وخضوعك وتضرعك فاعبده في صلاتك كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك فإن لم يحضر قلبك فهذا لقصور معرفتك بجلال الله تعالى فقدر أن رجلا صالحا من وجوه أهل بيتك ينظر إليك ليعلم كيف صلاتك فعند ذلك يحضر قلبك وتسكن جوارحك.
So now look what he says do next. He says, know that Allah Most High is observing your inner self. Allah is watching your heart. He knows what you're thinking at this moment. And beholding your heart. Truly Allah Almighty accepts your prayer based on the degree of your awe of Allah, your humility, your surrender, your submissive entreaty. One hadith says that some people when they pray, they get 1/10 of the prayer. 2/10 of the reward, 3/10 of the reward, 4/10, 5/10. Everyone gets a different amount of reward based on how much they're focused in their prayer. Two people praying right next to each other, one brother or sister can be getting 9/10 of the reward, another person getting 2/10 of the reward. Based on how much we realize that we're in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important to understand. So much so that the hadith say, لَيْسَ لَكَ مِنْ صَلَاتِكَ إِلَّا مَا أَقَلْتَ. You only get from your salah as much as you thought about when you were praying. Not what you just went through. Not what you just went through. So what is he saying? Look at this again. Truly Almighty Allah accepts your prayer based only on the degree of your awe. Think about who you're standing in front of. Humility, surrender, and submissive entreaty. Worship Him as in your prayer as though you see Him. As if Allah is right there in front of you. Or, if you can't come to that even though you do not see Him, understand He sees you. Now, this is the practical part now. If your heart does not come to presence, if you can't get it there, yeah, it sounds good, brother, but I can't get to there. Right? That's what we're all thinking. Sounds beautiful, but that's the problem. I can't get there. He's telling now. He's telling now. He says, if your heart does not come to presence, why? This is due to a shortcoming of your gnosis of the magnificence of Allah the Most High. He's telling you the cause of this. The reason is because you don't have ma'rifah of Allah. You don't recognize Allah's greatness yet. Once you bring that into your mind, how great Allah is, then this will be easy. So he's telling you where the problem comes from. Let's look at that again. If your heart does not come to presence, this is due to a shortcoming in your gnosis. Gnosis, ma'rifah. Knowing, recognition. Of what? The magnificence of Allah. Therefore, now, here's the practical. Here's the practical. Imagine that a pious man from among the respected people of your community is watching you to see how you pray. At this, your heart will become present and your limbs peaceful. He says, imagine someone that you respect big time from your community or family is watching you pray. What's going to happen to you? All of a sudden, you're calm. You're praying more relaxed. This is the key. Imagine someone else is watching you. Now, he's going to take it to the next step. What's your question really quick?
Real quick is when I was really into that, sometimes I think of that. I'm not sure if it's the right way to do it, though, because if you come to the masjid in front of and you start praying better in front of other people, that's a form of shirk.
But watch what he says now. So what does he say? What does he say do? Imagine that someone you respect greatly, and this is in the hadith too. Imagine someone you respect greatly is watching you pray to see how you perform prayer. How would you pray then? It's going to change totally. Now watch what he says. Go next page, please.
ثم ارجع على نفسك وقل ألا تستحي من خالقك ومولاك إذ قدرت اطلاع عبد دليل من عباده عليك وليس بيده ضرك ولا نفعك خشعت جوارحك وحسنت صلاتك ثم إنك تعلمين أنه مطلع عليك ولا تخشعين لعظمته أهو تعالى أقل عندك من عبد من عباده فما أشد طغيانك وجهلك وما أعظم عداوتك لنفسك.
Look at this. He just tricked us. He just pulled us in. Look what he says now. Then ask yourself, are you not embarrassed in front of your Creator and your Master? Talk to yourself. Are you not embarrassed? When you imagine being observed by one of his humble servants who has no means to benefit you or harm you, your limbs became so submissive and your prayer so improved. Yet you know Allah is observing you and you do not humble yourself before His Majesty? Is He most high lower to you than one of his slaves? How great is your tyranny? How severe your ignorance? And how greatly you wrong yourself. You see what he did? He told you, imagine someone's watching you. Wait, my prayer's going to get better. And then he said, look at you, fool. Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you ashamed that you don't pray like this for Allah, but for some pious person watching you, you're going to... Let's go forward.
I'm sorry, just a comment.
Yeah.
I think the practicality of the approach is what makes the impact.
Yeah. Imam Ghazali is known for that.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for. That he doesn't just tell you pray better. These are steps. You got to go back home and read this and go through it again and do it. The doctor can only prescribe the medicine. You have to take it. You have to take it. But he's even convincing you of how much you need the medicine. Let's go forward. It gets better.
فعالج قلبك بهذه الحيل فعساه أن يحضر معك في صلاتك فإنه ليس لك من صلاتك إلا ما عقلت منها وأما ما أتيت به مع الغفلة فهو إلى الاستغفار والتكفير أحوج.
Yes. So look, he says, treat your heart with these remedies. He says, use the medicine. Use the medicine I just gave you. It works. It works. Treat your heart with these remedies and hope that it will be present with you in your prayer. For verily nothing of your prayer counts except that in which you were mindful of. Not those rakats you did and forgot. Wait, what did I just do? How many times you finished so many rakats? You're like, man, how many rakats did I just do? Wait, where was I those last 3 rakats? Nothing counts of your prayer except what you're mindful of. Astaghfirullah. As for the part that you performed with heedlessness, you know what you should do? It's more in need of repentance and expiation. The part you just prayed, heedlessness, you should be doing tawbah for that. You get what he's saying? He's saying, one of the scholars said, we should actually beg Allah, please don't punish me for the way I worship you. Think about that. Ya Allah, don't punish me for how I worship you. That's what's sickening. Disobedience is another category. Just don't punish me for the way I worship you. So he's saying, the part of your prayer which you prayed with heedlessness, don't feel good. You should be doing tawbah. You should be doing tawbah or some kafara for it.
وأما ما أتيت به مع الغفلة فهو إلى الاستغفار والتكفير أحوج فإذا حضر قلبك فلا تترك الإقامة وإن كنت وحدك.
Okay, so he says, after you do this medicine, now your heart is there. You are imagining Allah sees you. Now what do? Always do the iqamah, even if you're by yourself. Don't just start the salat because you're at home and no one's there. No, do the iqamah. Do the iqamah. Even if you are alone. Bismillah.
I'm sorry. Do you have to do the adhan if you're by yourself?
Hanafi, you should do it.
I think he means here by adhan. I think so.
I don't know.
Because he's coming to later on. I think he's coming later on too.
No. Next one. Keep reading. Let's keep reading. Just read one more sentence.
وإن انتظرت حضور جماعة فأذن ثم أقم.
Yeah. So he says, if you are waiting for a group of worshippers to be present, make the call to prayer, then call the commence, iqamah. Okay, keep going.
فإذا أقمت فانوي بقلبك أداء فرض الظهر لله تعالى وليكن ذلك حاضرا في قلبك عند تكبيرة الإحرام ولا يعزب ذلك عنك قبل الفراغ من التكبير وارفع يديك عند التكبير بعد إرسالهما أولا إلى منكبيك وهما مبسوطتان وأصابعهما منشورة ولا تتكلف ضمهما ولا تفريجهما وارفع بحيث يحاذي إبهامك شحمة أذنك ورؤوس أصابعك أعالي أذنيك وتحاذي بكفيك منكبيك.
Okay, he's now going into the prayer. how to do the prayer now. Okay? He says, once you have made the call, the iqamah, form the intention in your heart. Make intention. And of performing the obligatory rakats of dhuhr. He's starting at dhuhr right now. For Allah the Most High. This intention should be present in your heart as you make the opening takbir. Allahu Akbar. And should not leave your heart before you finish the takbir. The whole time, Allahu Akbar, you have this niyyah. He says, after letting your hands hang loose by your sides, raise them to your shoulders when saying takbir, with palms open and fingers spread out. Okay? Raise them up. Do not burden yourself by trying to keep the fingers together or apart. Just regular. Raise them such that your thumbs is level with your earlobes, or fingertips, your fingertips with the top part of your ear, and palms parallel with your shoulders. Imam Ghazali is a Shafi, but in this masla he's following the Hanafi opinion, which is saying that your thumb should be to the palm, and it's based off hadith, of course, that your thumb should be to the shahmat udhanay, right to this, and that the tips of your fingers to the top of your ear, like this, and the palms basically to your elbow, okay, like this, around this area, okay. It's based on the hadith, but the Shafi opinion is lower by the shoulders, okay. So, but again, he's explaining it that way. Remember, I told you Imam Ghazali, in his high level of knowledge, sometimes takes his own opinion in certain things. Once they have settled in this position, then say takbir. Listen to this. Then lower your hands gently. Okay? You know, like sometimes we're like, and just let them fall. You know, like, no. He says, raise them and lower them gently. Have sukoon. Okay? Lower them gently. And then, in raising your hands and lowering them, do not push them forward or backward, nor shake them from side to side. Forward or backward, I'm not sure what he's referring to, but one thing is, don't let them, sometimes when brothers bring them down, they let them hang like this, and then they fold them. No. He's saying, say Allahu Akbar, and bring them down to the position they should be in. Okay?
Some people start here and they go.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like like that behind you. Okay? No. Here, Allahu Akbar, and then fold the hands. He says do it gently. This whole thing should be done gently. And then, okay, did you read the next part? Once you have let go, raise your hands.
I just want to say something about when you mentioned this. He said, وارفع بحيث يحاذي إبهامك شحمة أذنيك.
Yes.
This one
with
has
this.
to be at the level of this.
Yes, exactly.
Therefore, has to be this. And he said also,
the ru'us asabi'. Yeah, at the top part of the ear.
So something,
Yeah, in this area.
فإذا استقرت في
For men. The sisters is different.
فإذا استقرت في مقرهما فكبر ثم ارسلهما برفق ولا تدفع يديك عند الرفع والإرسال إلى قدام دفعة.
Okay,
This is
so
what you were talking about, I guess.
yeah,
I'm sorry. The sisters are different.
Yeah.
So what's the system?
How do the sisters do it, Sada? I don't. Huh? But how is the rafa?
Oh, we do it closer to the shoulders.
Closer to the shoulder. It's more. Everything is more mastur. It's more covered and more of a. It's not like open movements like the men. Okay, it's lower. And the hands would be like on the chest like that. Okay, so once you have let your hands go, rise them towards your chest. Honor the right hand by placing it over the left. Spread out your fingers of your right hand along the length of your left forearm and hold them. And hold your left hand at the wrist. The way to do this is to wrap the pinky and the thumb around here with these on top here, like that. Okay? Because there's hadith that say hold the wrist, and the other hadith say to place on top. So the way they do both is like this. I'm not sure about Maliki, wallahu alam, but this is
Maliki.
Yeah, some, right? Oh, we're running out of time. Let's just, inshallah.
Maliki is just straight down. We don't put hands on it.
Okay. Okay, inshallah, we're gonna stop here, inshallah. Just for homework, the medicine for bringing khushu from page 68 to the third paragraph of 70. Okay? So up to where it says, once your heart is present, up to there. Read that at least 3 to 4 times. Okay? And attempt it as much as possible. And then we'll discuss it next week, inshallah. This is medicine, but the medicine only works when you do it. And you won't find any other book explaining so in detail how to actually do these things. But you have to do it now. Okay? So read that 3 or 4 times and then actually try to do it. Yes?